I mean, normally it's Starmer getting blasted from pillar to post, but I'm all here for it, seeing Rayner get the same treatment. Angela Rayner is the latest Labour politician to make a fool of herself and gets blasted by Reform. We will discuss this in today's video, whilst also going over all the latest news from the UK. Hit like and subscribe and join our fast-growing community. Lee Anderson has furiously lashed out at Deputy Prime Minister Angela Rayner, accusing her of failing to answer a basic question on Islamophobia. Speaking in an interview, he spoke about an instance in Westminster where he asked Rayner to give a definition on the term. Here is that moment.
The Department is at the heart of the government's work to restore order and unity in all of our communities following the appalling disturbances we saw. And whilst we continue to make sure criminals are brought to swift justice, this vital work to strengthen the bond between government and communities, including our Muslim communities and those from many other faiths and backgrounds, is central to this government's mission to bring the whole country together.
Lee Anderson.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Could the Secretary of State please explain to me and the House what the government's definition of Islamophobia actually is?
Secretary of State.
Well, I say to the honourable member that a new definition must be given careful consideration so that it comprehensively reflects multiple perspectives and considers potential implications for different communities. And we're actively considering our approach to Islamophobia, including definitions, and will provide further updates on this in due course.
The Reform UK MP said Rayner failed to do so and went about laying into the Labour figure. It was just a basic question. Not exactly mischief, he said. Angela Rayner was banging on about Islamophobia, and now the Labour Party are going hell for leather to root out Islamophobia. I decided to ask a really difficult question, Martin, which was to define Islamophobia. She couldn't tell me. The lunatics have taken over the asylum. It comes after Rayner laid out government plans to amend its definition after a series of riots swept the country in July. The community's secretary accused the previous government of stoking division as she revealed Labour are actively considering the move. In 2019, the All-Parliamentary Group, APPG, on British Muslims devised a definition of Islamophobia as rooted in racism and is a type of racism that targets expressions of Muslimness or perceived Muslimness. Labour MP Afzal Khan, Manchester Rusholme, had previously called on Keir Starmer to host meetings with Muslim community leaders and to formally adopt the definition of anti-Muslim prejudice by the APPG. Rayner said in the Commons on Monday that her department is at the heart of the government's work to restore order and unity. Asked to give a definition of Islamophobia, Rayner responded, "A new definition must be given careful consideration so that it comprehensively reflects multiple perspectives and considers potential implications for different communities. And we're actively considering our approach to Islamophobia, including definitions, and we'll provide further updates on this in due course." Britain is set to join one of the world's largest trading blocs, with more than 500 million people, bringing with it a range of benefits to the UK. Just over a week ago, the UK received the final necessary national ratification formally to join the Comprehensive and Progressive for Trans-Pacific Partnership, CPTPP. The news marked a key milestone in the UK's accession to one of the largest free trade blocs in the world, with a population over 30% larger than that of the EU. The CPTPP is a free trade agreement between 11 countries in the Asia-Pacific region: Australia, Brunei, Chile, Canada, Japan, Malaysia, Mexico, New Zealand, Peru, Singapore, and Vietnam. Facts 4. EU revealed the very many benefits of a free trade deal, ranging from economic to non-quantifiable benefits. There are a number of non-quantifiable benefits of the new deal, including cutting costs for British consumers of imported goods and providing more choices. Catherine McBride, a member of the government's Trade and Agriculture Commission, said, "The UK's consumers will have improved access to a wide range of products. Examples include Vietnam's and Malaysia's clothing and footwear, to Malaysian palm oil, Canada's wheat and soybean foodstuffs, and much more." McBride added, "Many of these items are already imported by the UK from CPTPP countries, but joining the CPTPP will simply remove the tariffs and quotas left over from our EU membership or the rolled over EU trade deals. This should lead to lower prices for UK consumers as well as increased choice. Furthermore, there is an important counter-seasonal nature of imports from CPTPP countries. McBride explained, "The largest food exporters in the CPTPP are either in the Southern Hemisphere and so produce food in the opposite season to the UK and the EU, or they are in the tropics and produce foods that cannot be grown in the UK climate. Fears of UK farmers being driven out of business by imported food from the CPTPP are simply made up by people who haven't even bothered to read the publicly available trade document. The free trade deal also raises CPTPP countries' profiles in UK boardrooms as prospective trade markets." A spokesman for Facts4EU commented, "One area that is seemingly not understood is the effect of a new trade deal on raising awareness of a particular world market. In the monthly board meetings of companies across the country, a company's sales and marketing director will typically report sales results and will comment on new opportunities. As business people become aware of a new trade deal such as CPTPP, they also become aware of the countries involved. Suddenly, the possibilities of exporting to a country previously not on a company's radar begin to be discussed and explored, which can lead to more export sales. The same is true of purchasing directors, who start thinking about sourcing from better and cheaper suppliers in the new countries with which the UK has negotiated zero tariffs. There are also a range of economic benefits of the free trade deal, including cutting the UK's tariffs on 95% of UK imports from CPTPP to zero and cutting UK consumer prices. It could also encourage British business to compete globally and invest for future growth. The deal will also open up CPTPP markets to UK exports of services, the sector representing 80% of the UK economy. Under the new deal, there will be no political interference and no annual financial payments. The deal will see no sign-up laws made by foreign courts, no huge annual membership fee, no CPTPP Parliament, common agricultural policy, common foreign policy, or common defence policy. There will also be no unelected commissioners continually devising and imposing new rules and regulations on non-trade matters, and only the products to be exported have to obey a CPTPP country's domestic standards. The UK's free trade deal is also much better than existing deals with 9 out of the 11 CPTPP members. Most of these deals were rollover deals on the UK's EU exit, based on the EU's own documents and terms. These deals were necessary to ensure the continuation of trade, but were not adequate and satisfactory to the UK, as they barely included services and involved prohibitive quotas and high tariffs. Secretary of State for Business and Trade. Jonathan Reynolds spoke of the New Deal in The Observer, stating, "It will mark a major milestone in our journey to full membership of a bloc that will boast a combined GDP of £12 trillion after the UK joins." He said the accession was a real win for big-hitting British exporters, but would also offer a boost for smaller businesses who are keen to break into these markets for the first time. However, mainstream media, including the BBC and Sky News, have not reported on the key Brexit breakthrough. What are your thoughts on the clip we showed in today's video? Make sure you like and subscribe for more British content. Thank you. Take care. Goodbye.